Hey everyone, welcome to Late Night with Cap. This is JT, and happy Wednesday. Again, every Wednesday night you catch me here live. And now I'm live from Texas, so time zones are a little different. So everyone who's used to me being live on the Pacific time, it's still the 6:30 time, but it's 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. So hopefully that doesn't confuse people out there too much. It is confusing me a little bit. It's a little weird going later than normal. When I say normal in Pacific time that I used to be in, but I'm excited to be here. As you can see, I'm starting to get the background going. It'd be great if I could hear comments from y'all how it looks. Slimer's watching me from my left corner here. Hopefully, he can give you a laugh. Now, I do have a guest coming on here in a little bit. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to do bad graphic design, obviously, and we're also going to do a main topic, a cap main topic, and it's going to be about this lady who has survived not one, and not two, but three sunken ships. Then three of them, or two of them, are pretty famous, and her name is Miss Unsinkable. So we're going to talk about that, and of course, there might be some time for some Bigfoot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of introduce my guest here, and she's a wonderful person. You've seen her on the Rumble with Ryan Legion. You've probably seen her around in the community in the chat as well. Let's go ahead and bring on Magitek Mags. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? How
Good.
are you?
I'm good.
You look very happy. You look excited to be here.
I am. I'm always excited to be. I'm excited to be wherever everybody, where everybody is. Sorry, I was just talking to the chat. I was trying to.
No,
say
you're
hi to
good. Good.
everybody.
It's okay. It's okay. It's good. You're good. So normally, and I was kind of bummed. We I don't know what happened. I usually give you a nice little round of applause, but something's not connecting here. So instead of that, you're gonna get a cap dance. There you go. There you go. Yeah, some technical difficulties. Everything doesn't work right away.
You're trying to get yourself situated right back into the swing of things with everything.
Yeah. Isn't that
It's all
funny?
good.
Isn't that funny? Like things, you switch your computer around, you move, and you're in a different time zone, and things just don't always act the way you want them to. So hopefully we have a good show tonight. But now, before we get started with a couple of things, like I mentioned earlier about some of our topics, I just want to say hi to some people in the chat. So of course, we got Samuel the Infamous here. Hail, good to see you. How are you? And then we have one of my favorite Jokers, the Joker voice. He's also one of my favorite bartenders. If you're ever in Vegas, make sure you hit up Joker. He's a really good bartender, and he'll treat you good. And his bar, his drinks are like half off.
Well, let me tell you. When I saw pictures of y'all out in Vegas and everything, I'm not gonna lie, I was very extremely green. I was very green. Yeah, I would love to get out to Vegas for these meetups. Like at least one in my lifetime, because they are, unfortunately, because of where I'm located, they are super expensive to fly. And then I have to stay somewhere, and then on top of everything else, food and drinks and everything else, I really have to save money for like that specific event.
Well, his drinks are like literally half of the cost that you would spend at a casino. So he treats you right. He does good. And then we have Jacob Ironside. He will bring you the dad jokes. He'll bring in the dad jokes here. So hopefully hopefully he does a good job tonight, like he always does. And of course, we got Beard of Liberty. Good to see you. Hopefully the beard's still going good. And then my good friend, Vanquish AZ. I did talk to him the other day. He was one of my best friends in Arizona. Already missed you, bud. Good to hear that you're doing well. And then let's see. Well, here you go. Why were the British salty about losing America? They got teabagged. That's true. They did.
1776, baby. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep. And this is one of your fans, Final Fantasy fan 012.
I think I've seen
Even
him. I think I've seen him around in some chats.
okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but
Yeah.
hey, Final Fantasy fan, we could use more of those. But anyway, Mrs. Cannoli,
Yeah, Miss
hey
Cannoli's
girl.
here. Miss Cannoli's here. I'm hoping to get only her on one time as a guest. She's really great. I've had her husband on a few times. He's fun and all, but she's the light of his stardom right there. His hit is her.
The apple of his eye.
Yeah, yeah.
There, and look at that, he
There
appeared.
he is. There he is. Yeah. He was fun to meet in person too. They both were, but
Mhm.
Cannoli literally was like I don't know. He's like 7 feet tall. I think I came to his belly button. It was
So
wild.
that's why he's Cannoli Sasquatch because of his
Yeah,
height.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, he was the tallest man in that building. So, it was pretty funny. So for some of you, some of the people in the chat that don't know who you are, and
Mhm.
I did kind of confirm where your name came from. How about could you like spend a few minutes kind of describing what you do on your channel and what is your name? What does your name mean?
Well, I've been in the YouTube chats for about 2 weeks. Not 2 weeks. Excuse me, 2 years. Blah, excuse me,
2 weeks,
2 weeks.
newbie.
It's already Wednesday, y'all. It's one of those. It's been one of those days, as Cap already knows. um, but maybe over 2 years, listening to YouTube stuff, and then of course, after the Unicron thing, I just broke my silence and started going into chats and everything. And then most people back then knew me as just straight up Mags, like because I
Mhm.
didn't have a YouTube handle. I just was in the chats talking to people, and
Yeah, I remember. I've seen you. I've seen you in the same chats that I have. I've seen you in Drunks. I've seen you in Arcades. I've seen you in Cannolis. I've seen you in Ryan Legions. So yeah, you do.
I've been all over the place. Of course, over time, when you've been all over the place, you get modded and all that kind of stuff, which is an honor. But then
Hmm.
people were encouraging me over time to start my own YouTube channel because I started really getting a little bit more courageous in a way of showing my face and getting on streams. I remember when I went on a member stream, I was freaking like my first member stream. I think it was Midnight's Edge. And I was
Okay.
just so freaking nervous because I'm like, I have so many things I want to say, and I have my own opinions on things that it's almost like, will people judge me for saying things? But
No, hopefully our little community that we're in here in the corner of our little internet, we're pretty open. We allow you to have your own opinion. That's why people kind of like hanging out with us, right? So
right.
we have a
Eh,
similar story.
yeah.
I was in the chat a lot. People
Mhm.
were saying, you should give it a shot. You should have your own little channel because they
Right.
liked what I was posting and what I was saying on Twitter as this pseudo Captain America guy just laughing at the world. And
Mhm.
um, and here we are today. So
Yeah. So when I was trying to come up with my name, because people were like, you need to have your own channel. Well, I'm like, well, I can't use the actual account that I was using was my personal email account. So it was kind of one
Mhm.
of those things where I was like, I can't use this as part of my YouTube. I need to create my own, Gmail space and everything for YouTube channel. So I was like, well, what name? And everybody knew me as the Final Fantasy VI fanatic. In fact, I'm a Final Fantasy VI supremacist. Let's just put it that way. Um, and everybody knew that I love this stuff. And even I would change my avatars to my favorite character, Tara Branford, and everything. And I was like, you know what? I need to have my name Mags as part of it because people already know me around these parts. Excuse me for saying it, but everybody knew me as just Mags. So I'm like, but
Right.
I don't want to take that away. Like, I don't want to change the entire name and be like, this is Mags. Like, it might confuse people. And I didn't want to, you want it to sound easier for everybody.
Yeah.
So then in the game itself, Final Fantasy VI, there's a thing called Magitek armor, which is like a robotic machine that's infused with some magic and everything. So I was like, well, rolling off the tongue, Magitek Mags is I know one day your show will come.
I don't want to interrupt you. I thought that was pretty funny. I was gonna read it after you, but yeah, 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 yeah.
But because it's almost like a running joke now between some people and I.
Oh,
Um
that's pretty funny. Yep, yep. So
And so I figured Magitek Mags, and since everybody knew I liked Final Fantasy VI, and I incorporated that with my name, and that's where it came from. I do have a quote unquote second channel, but it's not live. I just have it in place for just in case purposes, or if I have an idea later down the road. But
Okay.
um,
Very
but yeah,
cool.
Magitek Mags was born, and yeah, I've been I do game streams. I really would my thing is my logo or motto is about honoring the old. So like
Yeah, you say
class
that on your Twitter handle and your YouTube channel. You honor the old by reviewing the new.
Yeah,
So something
and
like that.
yeah, honoring the old, but still exploring the new,
Yeah.
meaning supporting independent creators, up and coming artists. Has a hidden channel? Yes, I do, and I'm not gonna say yet. There's only one other person I think knows, and I think he even forgot about it because I was throwing like ideas at him, like, "What am I like? What does this sound like?" And then we were trying to find, "Oh, is this name taken on YouTube?" Like, so that's kind of like what it
That's the
was.
tough part, right?
Yeah,
When you're trying to find a channel name, and there's so much out there. There's millions, right? And there's
yeah.
some channels aren't doing anything, but they already have the name. That happened here as well. I had to. There was all kinds of lists of names of like what it could have been. And oddly enough, there were some that were already out there, but I like where I came. So
Yeah, and
good.
luckily for me, there was another magic I think there was, like, a maybe a me 2 other Magitek Mags out there, but they hadn't done anything in, like, years.
Yeah,
It wasn't even they weren't even
active.
doing active stuff like this. It was probably more for personal and then putting stuff that up. "Oh, don't you start it, Roman." But
Roman's
yes,
a good dude too. I got
yeah.
to hang out with him as well. He's a fun dude. So
Yeah, I'm jealous that y'all get to hang out. Like, this is not fair for the East Coaster over here. But yeah, so, but I was able to secure like the at handle and everything. So
hmm
I mean, so it's my name and it's me. So but basically, I know I have a lot of ideas in the future because I do work full time. So it's really hard to balance that between that and life because I have a
yeah,
family and everything else. So I do have a lot of ideas. It's just going to be a very slow process, but I am planning this year, especially if you've have checked out my channel. I'm trying to go and see movies this year that I want to enjoy, and I'm going to because I'm we're all very specific with our time and money. Like those 2 things are very important. So, a lot of
hmm
people out there have a heck of a lot more time to watch all these movies that are out there. I don't, and I don't have that kind of money to be doing that
yeah,
every single month or every other week. So, I'm gonna be very selective with my reviews, and there could be, they're short reviews, but I'm trying to do out of theater reactions and, things of that nature because 'cause I'm not really good at editing. That's something that I need to work on, and I know one of this, video series that I want to really work on because I love classic film is really and I think that will be a good way for me to hone that editing skill, is to be able
yeah,
to talk about something that I love, but also be patient with myself working on it, like it's like a mini project,
yeah.
so
And the cool thing is, if you watch channels that have been on for like 10 or 12 years,
right.
you'll see that same transition. You'll see that
Mhm,
they're doing the same growth, having the same growth spurts.
mhm.
What am I doing? Like, there's a lot of people. They're using one camera, and then a few years later, they're using two or three cameras, or they're doing different angles, or they're cutting different. They're having intros. They all have started that way.
They have a
Um,
Ring doorbell camera like I do right now.
yeah, so it's all kinds of crazy. It's all it's the only thing that really is important is if you're having fun hanging out with the people, and if
Mhm,
you're having fun doing what you're doing. And I
mhm.
think you'll you'll be fine. If you hate what you're doing, you'll not want to do it, and you'll put it away. Now, Samuel has a good quote here before we continue. It's called, "I belong to the warrior in the," he says, "who the old ways have joined the new," and that's
Mhm,
from The Last Samurai. That's a good quote. I like that. And
mhm.
then one of my I keep giving Joker like kudos here. One of my the person that does a good movie reviews is Joker. He does a really good job. He tells you what he likes and doesn't like. He just doesn't like hate on it, right?
No.
Um, but he says Mags is the best cheerleader for all the content creators on YouTube in this circle. So he's giving you a thumbs up on that.
It's my
So that's pretty cool.
YouTube sim I kn Hey, look, that's I started out in the chat, and I started out as, not this is not like a clout thing or anything, but, I'm I say it with love and pride because they gave me my first start as a mod, but Midnight's Edge, and I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot about building community and being able to talk to the chat and to just kind of learn from that. Like you can't take that away. Like your first time dealing with, especially now that they're so much bigger than they were even like a year ago. It's amazing how much they've grown. You learn so much from that kind of opportunity when people give you that chance. And that's the one thing for me, like it's not, I hate, YouTuber versus YouTuber. I'm like,
you don't like the back and forth?
No, I don't. For me, I'm just like, everybody has something of value, a voice to offer, regardless if somebody is going to agree with it or not. And as long as you're a decent human being and you treat everybody with respect, like I'm going to cheerlead you all the way. You could love, okay, this is probably going to offend, make everybody cringe, but like you could love The Last Jedi all you want, but I'm still gonna promote your content because if you
Are you trying to hurt my feelings? Because if so, you are succeeding. Fortunately, my feelings regenerate at twice the speed of a normal man's.
That is literally my comfort show. I just put that on the background. But like you could like I know it's an extreme or whatever, and I know in this community I don't really like The Last Jedi either. I mean, that was kind of one of my moments in the theater where I was just like, I think I'm suffering from, I think my brain shut down on purpose because I don't remember, my brain blacked out the entire time. But like, again, if you like The Last Jedi, but you're a decent human being, you have good conversation with everybody, and you offer something new as well. Like, are you creating something too? I'm going to promote your shit. Excuse me for saying.
There you go. Cool.
Like, I'm just like, as long as you're a decent human being, you treat everybody with respect, you're good. So
that's what really matters. I mean, you could dislike, there used to be a time when you could do that, right? You can dislike things and your friend could like another thing, but as long as you were cordial, you were fine. So Joker says, nope, that is not allowed. The Last Jedi I love gets crowbar treatment. Okay.
You mean the Abbey golf club treatment?
Yeah. So we're gonna so you're a gamer, and if you normally what I do,
I will say this: I like playing video games. I am not the level of like Melanie Matt. I'm not. When I say I like playing video games, I don't consider myself a gamer. And when I say that, it's because I cannot. I don't. Again, I'm very specific with my games. Like I'm not like a Mauler or a Mark the Cyborg. Like those are gamers. Like y'all, like those are gamers. Like I don't put myself in that category.
But you play games.
But I play games and I enjoy playing games.
Gamer.
So yeah. But
do you like mobile games by chance?
Oh my god.
This is a little plug I do. I don't get paid for it. I literally just love this game. Do you like mobile games?
Not very.
You can say no.
Well, I don't like P2P, the play to play, pay to pay.
Well, this one
games,
you don't really have to pay to play. You can literally not spend any money and have a good time. There are things that you can play to upgrade or whatever. But this is Dragon Champions. I play this game with pretty much all of the salty nerds. We have a good time. Some people in the chat play it. You just level up on characters. I like to pitch it. It's fun. People in the chat right now are probably laughing at me because I'm always talking about this game and I probably won't shut up about it.
Hey, but if you enjoy, hey, look, I have, I used to play mobile games when they first started out. Like that was like the thing, like when the smartphones came out and there was mobile games, like of course you played them, like because you're either in college or something, or you're on the road and this is all you had. And I don't judge. I don't tell him mobile games are really big. Well, not every mobile game. I play was it Final Fantasy Opera Omnia on my phone sometimes. Mostly a lot of Final Fantasy games on my phone. But yes, Cajun Corey loves watching me play Final Fantasy 6. But I do have I do like to play on my phone with emulators and ROMs. Let's put it that way.
There you go. So that's cool.
So because I miss the old Game Boy feel. So a lot of times, like, because you can play it on your computer, but I miss like that old classic handheld type feel.
Right.
You're in your bed, you're trying to sneak a game in at night. You're like,
yeah, you have that big light that like shines on the game.
Oh gosh, the little snake light. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, before I got the Switch, I used to do that too. But that's a fun game. I do enjoy it.
Do you sneak your game in bed at night with the Switch?
Sometimes, yeah. Yes, Beard. One day I will get a sponsor code. One day they will watch me. One day they will see that I talked about it, and maybe. But as now, if you wanted to check it out, you could use. I usually give out the salty code, which is salty, and you can use that to get some free stuff. So there is something I'm trying new since I've been back, and I'm calling it Captain's commercials. Now it's kind of related to like what you just saw, but it's a little funny. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to share I did this last time, and it went pretty well. So let's see what this looks like here. And now this is like let's see if you can tell if this is a real commercial or a fake commercial. So let me get this going here, and please tell me if you can hear the sound. So this came from Instagram. This is on Sith Vibing, pretty fun account, but here you go. No sound, huh? Anyways, what do you say? Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for this? And this is Captain Freedom. I don't know if you know this. This is the Captain Freedom workout commercial.
Okay.
Do you know the movie?
Captain Freedom. No, I.
He's gonna break you. He's gonna like make you strong.
Is it so? So you're saying this is a real commercial or not?
No, it's a fake commercial of a movie called Running Man. So there's a character in there that he's won like everything that it has won. So there you go. The second commercial I've ever showed on this stream, and it failed. Look at that.
I was like, wait a minute. Well, I mean, it looks so 80s. It's almost like I've seen so many things that pop up with 80s stuff. Oh, well, back in the day, my grandmother would always record on the VHS tapes. So a lot of times you remember the old commercials, even though you were fast forward.
I'm gonna try to make sure I get the sound here. So give me a second here. Yeah, I was really disappointed because it like really it's better if you have the sound.
You have the sound, because then you could probably figure it out from there. Yeah.
But it looks like the sound is not working for me. So that's too bad.
Oh gosh.
That's okay. We have other stuff to go over.
Well, we can always voice over it. That's what
Yeah, basically he says, you ready for the pain, you ready to get strong or something, and then he says Captain Freedom's workout is here for you. So there you go. So let's see. That would be the Governor Yeah, that's Jesse the Body Ventura. That's the actor. Yeah, JT needs some R2. Hey man, look, I'm back. I'm shaking the rust off. Sorry. Yeah, we're not far away from Running Man becoming an actual reality show. So what it was a reality show where you were a prisoner.
Okay.
And they would put you in this competition where you kind of had to survive. And if you survived, you would, like Jeopardy, you would stay on the show, or they would make you a staple of the show where you would be one of the ones that are hunting you down.
Okay.
And so Arnold is a criminal. I can't remember if he did something or did not do something, or he's technically not guilty. And but he's in there and he basically takes everyone out, and it's one of his really first 80 movies. It's where he used the first line, "I will be back." That's in that movie. It wasn't Terminator. I don't know if you're an Arnold fan, but yeah.
No, I like Arnold. So that's where it comes from. I'll be back. Is that where?
He says it right before he gets into the little shuttle. So yeah.
Okay. Because I remember. So it's so funny when you say that, because I remember the VHS tape commercials that I'll be back like all the time. So like it's funny when people mention stuff like that to me. I'm like, I may not have seen anything of it, but I understand the references, like not necessarily knowing it came from the Running Man, but I'm like, I know that I see it in my head right now, that commercial. So
Joker would be a good person on that show. He would be pretty good. That would be fun.
Is he gonna be wearing all that 80s gear?
He could be. Yeah. A lot of solid action, a lot of cameos. It's a good movie. So check it out. It's rated R. So if you're not a fan of rated R movies, we probably won't review that on After the Weekend, but it is.
Well, if it
rated R.
depends, I guess it depends on the decade and the era, because a lot of times like 80s rated R is much different than today's rated R. So Pony can sing. Oh my god.
Yeah, the pony couldn't sing because it was a little horse. So
oh my gosh.
yeah. It's too funny. Jacob always brings in the good ones.
Yeah, he
let's
does.
see. If you need a maid knocked up, Arnold is your guy.
That's very true. I mean,
wow.
Well, remember he did say screw your freedom. So
he did. And then he apologized like 4 months ago or something. I can't remember. So, are you a fan of? I'm sure you're a fan of music, right? Right?
Yeah.
You like? Yeah. What kind of genre of music are you a fan of?
That is that is quite the answer for you to get.
Well, what do you like? If you right now, what are you listening to on your playlist?
Well, right now, especially when I drove home from work, is Two Steps from Hell.
Okay.
So they're like a trailer music group.
All right.
But
Very
I think
cool.
they've kind of expanded more into, because they started out with doing a lot of trailer music. So it's funny because trailers years ago that I would listen to, you just don't pick it up, and then all of a sudden I'm listening to this band and I'm like, oh, I recognize that song.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
And they're pretty cool. But my genre of music has changed over time. I grew up with the old classics like Louis Armstrong, Nat King Cole, Bing, Frank Sinatra. Like that's what I grew up with. I also grew up with my dad's old record labels of like
awesome.
Leonard
We got some old records. Yeah.
Leonard Skinner. He had like the turntable and everything, and then he had like the Serwin Vega speakers and everything that went along with it. So I grew up with all that. My parents are boomers, so that was their era of music.
That's okay.
So I like country. I like old country. I prefer older country, like as in like 80s, 90s country.
like what was that? The Achy Breaky Heart guy? Was it?
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, I like some 2000s country, but I think country has kind of gone off the deep end a little bit.
Yeah,
and kind of lost its way. It's gone too hip hoppy, in my opinion.
Well, apparently, when I was traveling across state lines, I picked up some Mexican cap. So the reason I'm asking is this: do you ever judge an album cover by its cover? Do you ever judge an album by its cover? As soon as you see it, if you don't know who it are, do you judge the music by the cover of that, or do you already know the band, or do you kind of listen to it first?
Actually, no. I have done that before, and from there, when I will pick up a CD, because I actually do have I have had a situation where I picked up a CD, like a CD case, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, I really like the CD case, and I like the letter art and everything. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna listen to this and see if I like it. And it was a new artist, new art. I didn't even know the artist. I didn't know the music at all. And turns out it was, I think it's her name, Delta Goodrum she's like a very famous pop artist in Australia. Very famous. So
okay.
I didn't even know at the time.
Did you like her?
I liked her. I liked I liked that album and that music, and I picked up on it, and I was like, wow, she gained a follower. So it's just,
Well, I told you earlier that we do a segment called Bad Graphic Design, and this one's around music covers. So hopefully you can judge the music by these covers. So if you haven't seen the show, if you're new here in the chat, and Mags, if you haven't seen this, what we do is we find some really bad graphic design and we kind of laugh at it. There's some times where it could be a bad tattoo, it could be a bad sign, it could be just a really bad mistake. And a lot of people are saying the country music is lame. A lot of people are saying 90s music isn't old country music. So you caused quite a stir in the chat, and maybe we can go back to that after this. So the first cover, now
I'm sorry, but Luke Bryan is not good country.
I live in a town. What was her name? She's from the town that I moved into. I don't remember her name now. Miranda Lambert. You know
Miranda
her?
Lambert, yeah.
Yeah, so she's from the town that I moved to, and she's very popular. But I think if I move to the town of this guy, I think I know that he means business because Gary is getting down to business.
He's getting ready to boogie. Is he gonna do like the?
I mean,
look at those flares. I mean, look at him. He's in style. He has no problems there. He is in style. He does look a little constipated in those jeans.
Oh man, I'm not sure what's in his belt area of his pants. It looks like a Hershey's bar. Not quite sure what that is.
I mean, he's just warming it up.
Yeah, well, he's coming out of that. I think he came out of that phone booth ready to handle it. So
he's ready to boogie. Getting down tonight.
Based on this cover, would you want to listen to Gary getting down to business?
No.
That's a whopping no. Yeah.
That's a no.
Yeah, not good. I mean, at least he has some confidence, right? Like he's like, I'm here. How high do you think those heels are?
It looks too forced. Like the way he's just like popping out that hip and that elbow in the front. I'm like, he just looks like I don't know, like this has probably been like the 50th take and he's just tired of it. So of what the camera guy is asking him to do.
Yeah, I mean, probably he looks a little irritated that he even has to do it. And did you notice that the trailers behind him are empty? Those are emptied.
Those are oh wow.
Yeah, so he's at a truck stop.
Yeah, so this is like a random here we go, we're gonna do this.
Yeah. R2 says, is that Legion before he went to boot camp? It could be Legion. Yeah.
You know, and this is a pre Legion days. Ryan. In fact, if there's a Legion of memer out there, put his face on this. I'm giving you ideas.
I think he's got like 6-inch heels. I think he's shorter than he really is shown here.
And that was kind of the thing back then too for guys, I guess, wearing some sort of platform type shoes. I don't know. Like for me, but he does look short. Like you can tell. It's just But,
so Joker, I think it's because either you're using like a lot of caps or you're using a lot. I don't know. It gets very sensitive to caps. I don't know. Or
Stream Elements is a woman, JV. You need to treat it that way.
Yeah, it's very sensitive. All singers in the 70s had this look. See the Bee Gees. All right, we'll check it out. So, well, now there's another one. Now you've heard of Snoop Dogg, right?
Mm-hmm.
You like Snoop Dogg? He's a cool guy, right?
His music is not my favorite, but yeah.
No, but he was cool. Everybody liked to hang out with him, and he kind of hung out with Martha Stewart. But have you ever heard of Swamp Dogg? Rat on. And there she goes.
What the heck is that mouse dead? He's like, yeehaw, I'm riding a dead mouse.
Yeah, Joker, that's just wrong. Aren't you glad that you are now on the internet with Swamp Dogg album cover Rat On? Aren't you glad you joined the stream?
Why did you do this to me?
I mean, he's all about it. Like,
oh God, I'm dead.
And to be honest, there's 2 more.
Oh no. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, not that this is not my kind of album to buy, but I think I might buy this just to see what it's about. I mean, look at
Yes, these things actually existed. These are actual.
And he's wearing shiny shoes for the mouth.
I mean, okay, so you've been on like the streets of like Vegas where they like hand it, or I don't know if you have, or maybe in the East Coast or Chicago or New York. People hand out their own albums all the time.
Oh yeah, they do.
And they make their own album covers.
If you go to DC, yes.
So and so nowadays they just kind of print them out themselves. But back in the day, you to get your stuff recorded and do all that, you had to pay and do your own cover, and they would produce this. So yeah, this was it. So
Swamp Dog. I mean, come on, chat. Be honest. Would you buy this? Huh? Would you buy this?
So far, people are saying no.
I mean, come on, y'all. No, I bet you they're saying no, but truthfully, they would have back in the day.
Yeah. I think his rat's name is Splinter. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah. All right. Well, I'm sorry. You almost fell out of your chair there, but now this one,
he looks like he's having a good time. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the other guy seemed forced. He was like, this guy's like, yeah, dog. It's like.
So you've heard the song "Welcome Back to Cali" or "I'm Going Back to Cali," right? From typical rappers like B.I.G. did "I'm Going Back to Cali." LL Cool J. Have you ever heard the song called "Going Back to Miami"?
Did he put his finger in an electric socket or did he inject some like air into his hair? What the freak is that?
There you go.
I mean, is this supposed to be like a really bad porno like pic? Or
no,
something?
These are album covers. That's a lot of hairspray.
That's a lot of teasing going on up there. I mean, is he hiding a rat and some bird family up there?
I'm sure this dude looks famous. He probably made some money off this. Who knows? You never know. So yeah, when I saw this picture, it was literally
wow.
She's gone again.
You're gonna make me snort on stream, and I've not done that before.
Well, if you do, it'll be great because I cut these out. Yeah, I can smell the Aquanet through my laptop. Yeah, it's a little misty.
Yeah, I'm getting a little misty over here. I'm like tearing up with this. Man, I'm getting allergies, but just by looking at that hair.
Here you go. Like, Jacob says this is the best one. That's Trump hair on steroids.
I mean, that is some.
And he's got a tan. He's got a good tan going. Yeah, his name's Wayne. Yeah, his name's Wayne.
Is he Little Wayne or Hair Wayne or is
he
like a cousin?
I think his name is Wayne Kirchman or something like Kutchman or something like that. Yeah. I've never heard of him.
Beard of Liberty says, "Careful, I laughed a few times and got clipped for a week." Oh, I'm sure my clips. I'll be clipped. It's okay.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I trust me. I'm working on another one, Liberty, where it's this literally you just laughing. So. So I mean, yeah.
I mean, he's basically saying, "Hey, baby, you want some?"
He's got some twang in his lip. Yeah.
It's almost like he's ready for some ASMR going down. Like,
yeah,
he was like the original Rickroll, but like before the Rickroll thing was like popular.
Yeah, I think he was trying to do a little Elvis, go big on the hair there.
I mean, go big or go home. I mean, what?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to give this one an intro. I'm just going to let you see it and see what happens.
What the? No! What am I looking at? This is chaotic.
Well,
what the handsome beast? I mean, what?
And there she goes again.
Oh my god! What is this? What is going on? There's like stories going on here. I mean, you've got the dude within the number who's like fat, and then something else going off to the side on the floor that I have no clue what's going on, and I don't want to know at this point. And then you've got this dog that's like showing his teeth. Whatever
it is. Pig. I'm sure he hangs out with Swamp Dog. I'm sure they've done an album together.
Woo! I mean, I am
That band
dead.
needs Jesus. This has to be a parody band thing. It could be fake, but it was an album. It was
Oh my
it was on the list. So,
Oh my gosh. I
and
mean,
trust me, there's a whole lot more out there. So, if I'm warning you all, that have been guests in the past, and you could be a guest in the future. If we do
oh,
music albums again, you may be in for some of this.
I hope do you actually personally listen to these?
No, I just find them.
No, ZBR, stop that right now. That is
Oh,
not my
okay.
dream
Duke
name.
Devil 95 just Googled it. Okay.
Yeah, don't, no, I don't know. This is probably from a bad porno.
I'm surprised I'm still alive. That's all. So, anyways, that's bad
I know
graphic design for you.
the guy clearly likes donuts, Joker voice. Yeah, I think he likes more than just donuts.
You know, I'm really ashamed that he wasn't here in the chat to see this. Was Vader? He usually likes those things, and I bet he really had no problem with that at all. So
Oh my
here
gosh,
you go. See, they have music on YouTube. There
Oh
you go.
no, we're not. No, I'm not listening to that. Oh my gosh, ZBR. If you zoom in on the nun, you see that's actually Mags. No, it's not.
Yeah, this is true. There was another album cover by the same band that was called Bestiality. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What in the world? Yeah, yes, Swamp Dog and that dude, they probably started a band together, and that's why they split up to make these albums.
Yeah,
These solo albums.
Kunali says, "Wow, I bet you he just literally just came in, had no idea what the heck it was."
You need to rewind it, Cannoli.
So,
I am. Hey, look, JV, it is hot in here. Okay, I just laughed my butt off and cried. So.
Yeah. So next time I have you on as a guest, you're just going to
I've
be
been
like,
clenching my butthole in fear all week.
They're a good bunch of people. I like.
They are. They are. Let's see. Rest in peace, boiling water. You will be missed.
Oh no, Jacob.
Yeah, I didn't like that one, but it's okay.
Mm-mm.
Thanks.
Mm-mm.
Thanks.
Mm-mm.
I'm having weird flashbacks to my former job as a prosecutor. Yee. Okay.
With the bestiality album.
Yeah. So I'm glad I hopefully got you a good laugh there. But I do want to talk about the main topic of the show. It's not as funny. It's just fascinating. Let's see here. So we want to go with the Miss Unsinkable. That's her nickname. This is the story of Violet Jessup. She was a nurse on a few ships that are pretty famous for either almost sinking or sinking through like big history moments. As you can see here on this title cover here, one of them is the Titanic. So when you came on the show before I talked about her, did you know about Violet?
No. In fact, even backstage, I was like, "You mean the unsinkable Molly Brown?" You know, that's
different person. Yeah,
different person. But apparently, this is
a completely different person. Molly Brown was a person who did not sink who was rich on the Titanic, made a lot of money after not sinking, and all that kind of stuff. This lady so I'll just give you a brief history. She was born clearly as she was a survivor really from the start. So she had a lot of good luck, and then she had some bad luck. So she was one of 9 children. Only 6 of them survived. Violet being the first. When she was a child, she contracted tuberculosis, and through doctors predict her illness would be fatal, but she survived. So not only did she survive 3 sunken ships, she survived tuberculosis. So it should come as no shock that she also survived the most famous ocean disaster of all time, the sinking of the Titanic. What might be a surprise is that she also survived, like I said, collisions and a sinking of the Titanic's 2 sister ships. So she was on the Titanic, and because she worked for the company that ran those ships, so she was on the Olympic, and she was also on the Britannic. So she was a nurse. That's what her job was on the ship. She wasn't anyone famous. She wasn't on there as a passenger. She just worked for the crew. So you didn't know anything about Violet here at all.
No, I mean, the fact that she survived TB, I mean, back then, TB during her time was tragic. Like, as soon as you contracted it, it was like you're waiting for death. I mean, it was really it was a terrible illness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
So
then
she
and then
survived that.
to be surviving that, and then also become a nurse. Obviously, she probably got a little inspired from that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then to be not only on the Titanic, but the Britannic and Olympic. Man, she's just a total badass to be able to deal
Yeah.
with that. I
Yeah.
mean, those are scary events. I mean,
Yeah.
especially back then. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because that was the only way
Yeah.
to travel the
It
ocean.
was. It was. They weren't doing transatlantic planes.
Mm,
Yeah. So there, 1900s was a bad time. So she worked for White Star Line. That's the one that owned all the three ships.
mhm,
Um, but she was okay, sorta. So in 1910, after working as a stewardess with the Royal Mail Line for 2 years, she took the job on board the Olympic. The
mhm,
Olympic was a luxury ship, so this is a sister ship,
mhm.
the largest civilian liner at its time, so it's before the Titanic. It in the fall of 1911, the Olympic left its port in Southampton and collided with a British warship, the HMS Hawke. There were no fatalities, and despite damage sustained by the impact, the ship made it back to port without sinking. So this one didn't sink, but she did. She was a part of this massive accident with this. I think she also did help people on that boat. So yeah, you can see it kind of does look like the Titanic if you like put them side by side. They're
Mhm.
almost identical.
I know there are theories out there that say that the ship that actually did go down was the actual Britannic and not the Titanic.
Yeah, they
Um,
switched them. Yeah,
so,
there's a theory there. There's
yeah.
also a theory that Rose murdered Jack, and I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Uh, but after experiencing the most almost sinking of another of the Olympic, she would you would think she would not want to go on another boat, right? You think I'm
Right.
done. I don't want to do this anymore. However, she was fine. So she said, "I'm going to still do this transatlantic sea travel." However, just 7 months later, she was back at work with the White Star Line. This time on what they claimed was the most unsinkable ship. So I think they kind of tested fate on that one, right?
Mhm.
And then Jessup boarded the RMS Titanic, a stewardess for 4 days before its famous run in with the iceberg. In her memoirs, she mentioned that she was ordered up on deck to serve as an example of how to behave for non English speaking um, passengers who couldn't understand the instructions being given to them. So she was like a decoy. She pretended to be a passenger,
Mhm.
pretending to, because so when someone would give orders, she was okay. This is what you're supposed to do
Mhm.
for everybody that was on the ship that maybe didn't speak English. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah, so she did that. And then, of course, when it was started to sink, she was ordered up on deck. She wrote calmly in her memoirs that calmly passengers strolled about. I stood at the bulkhead with the other stewardesses, watching the women clinging to their husbands before being put into the boats with their children sometime after. A ship's officer ordered us into the boat 16, first to show some women it was safe. So she was told to just, again, they couldn't speak English, so she was supposed to say, "Look, I'm getting on the boat. Let's all get on the boat." And most of them were just walking around like, "What do we do on
Yeah.
this ship that's
Re-
not supposed to sink?"
Yeah,
Um,
ship that's not supposed to sink and that's already sinking. So I mean, like, yeah, I mean, and the thing is with a nurse in her position, and especially those who are staff, you're not supposed to panic.
right,
It,
right, right,
so,
right.
because if you panic, it causes worse things. So you need to be able to. I mean, can you imagine something like that?
Yeah, right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. I remember the movie, and I remembered how it was pretty like real life, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So sorry, my kid. But yeah, you could.
I like how you snuck that in. I saw it with my kid.
It's okay. He likes to come by the door. But you saw how calm some people were. You saw how people were like really confused. You saw how people were scared. One of the like most epic scenes ever was the ones with the the people playing the instruments as it was going down. So that's pretty cool. That was pretty neat of them to do that to keep people calm, even though they knew they're not going to survive. That was pretty heroic, I think. But
Mhm.
as she watched the lifeboats, as she watched as the lifeboats were loaded and made it onto herself after spending one night in a lifeboat, Jessup and her fellow survivors were rescued by the Carpathia, and that's the little one up above there. So like
Mhm.
she was on that ship too, and that's the one that saved them. So there you go. That's the second one that she survived.
Mhm.
The third one, yet again, despite witnessing the tragedy of the Titanic and spending the night in a freezing lifeboat, Violet continued to serve as a stewardess. So she was pretty dedicated to her craft, right?
Right.
Just wanted to help people. She thought that was her goal. That's where she wanted to be. In 1916, during World War One, the White Star Line converted some of their ships into hospitals. So this is the Britannic. One of these converted ships was, and you said there are some theories that this was the actual Titanic, not the
Mm.
one that sunk.
Not th
Uh,
not that I mean, I've just heard of these theories. I have not specifically looked into them, but I've heard, like, these are, like, theories that have been going on for, like, forever,
a
so
long time, yeah.
yeah.
Upon which Jessup was serving as a stewardess again for the Red Cross. So she was on this ship doing the same
Mhm.
job. It's a pretty cool looking ship. It would be really bright to see. I like that painting there that I found, and yeah, you would if you were in trouble and you saw this white ship coming around to save you. I think I would be pretty excited. Um,
Exactly, yeah.
yeah. So on the morning of November 21st, the Britannic sank in the Arganic Sea due to a mysterious explosion. So they don't even know at the point they didn't know what it was. To this day, scientists have yet to reach definite conclusion as what caused the blast. Some people say it was a torpedo or a mine from the German, but it did hit something or something hit it.
It's
Uh,
probably believable that it was a mine. I would say that
I would say so. Yeah,
because
yeah.
if
I
it's
don't think
World War
it.
One, U-boats, I mean, submarines were there available, but it was mostly I would say it's probably mostly a mine, but
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was. So the the white pride of the ocean's medical world dipped her head. So this is what she wrote in her memoirs again. Her head a little, then a little lower and a little slower. She recalls. So she's talking about the ship kind of sinking very slow.
Mm,
All the deck machinery fell into the sea like a child's toy. Then she
mhm.
took a fearful plunge. Her stern rearing heads into the feet into the air until her final roar. She disappeared into the depths. So that same like just like the Titanic, it just went down, but she survived it. There's a picture of it
Wow.
underwater. How it was sinking. It took 57 minutes to sink. 30 people lost their lives. Nearly taking Jessup's life as well. So she barely made it. As the ship sank, the propellers were still spinning and began sucking lifeboats under them. Jessup jumped out of her lifeboat to safety, but survived a traumatic head injury in the process.
Oof.
So see how lucky she is.
Res
Yeah. Here she goes. She wrote this. I leapt into the water, but I was sucked under the ship's keel, which struck my head. She wrote, describing the incident in her memoirs. I escaped, but the years later, when I went to my doctor because of headaches, he discovered I had once sustained a fracture of the skull. So she fractured her skull, did not know,
Wow.
and then like went on with her merry day or life and had no idea that she did that. And she just kept getting headaches and realizing that, hey, you got a cat. Look at that. I got one
Yeah,
too.
I'm sorry. She's a wants to, say hello, so
You have a cat and a puppy too, right? Didn't you get a puppy?
Yep, yep, he's downstairs, so
Okay.
this one's only allowed upstairs right now, so
Okay. Yeah, I got
uh,
one in the chair here. So,
yep.
um, yeah, they're fun. Let's see here. After
Oh, she is
surviving
very beautiful,
She
wow.
was, yeah, she was. She was a very beautiful woman. After surviving one near sinking and two actual sinking, many expected Violet Jessup to retire from her life at sea. However, after a brief hiatus, she returned to work for the White Star Line in 1920 and later the Red Star Line.
Hmm.
During the rest of her seafaring career, Violet would complete two around the world cruises and have had a short-lived marriage before retiring to Ashfield in Suffolk, where she passed away at the ripe old age of 83.
So
So
she lives through hell and back and still
Mhm.
lived a good healthy life. I mean,
Can you imagine her stories, like if she had grandkids?
oh my gosh, yes. I mean, what a remarkable woman, and
Mhm.
just to survive all of that. I mean, TB as a child, for one, and 3 sinkings, and famous one. I mean, those are famous ones,
Mhm.
obviously.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it that, and to have the mark to prove it, as in the fracture in her skull.
Yeah, she's
So,
not many people talk about her. I think if they redid a movie, they kind of redid Titanic, or they redid some story about the Titanic, I think her story would be pretty cool. Like if they
you
showed
know,
her story over time, I think that
you're
would be.
you're right. If you really wanna do Hollywood, if you really wanna do strong, independent women, there you go. You've got somebody in, in history. I mean, not necessarily doesn't necessarily have to be independent, but she survived
Mhm.
3
Yep.
sinkings. I mean, that is something else. What a story that could be on the big screen, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it
just
would have been, but it would be really cool. I think it would be a really good story for people, but not many people know about her. Not many
no.
people know her story. When you talk about Miss Unsinkable, they automatically jump to Unsinkable Molly Brown, but I would classify her as the
The re
true, the
I
real Unsinkable.
I agree with that. Well, I guess the Unsinkable Molly Brown, um, it obviously was a again, I'm into classic film. It was an actual classic film, and that had Debbie Reynolds play as her character, and,
Hmm.
that, of course, that was a very famous movie with that.
Yeah.
Debbie Reynolds is also, the mother of Carrie Fisher, so there's that. Um, but, yeah, so it's, of course, everybody thinks of The Unsinkable because that is the name of the title of the movie, The Unsinkable Molly Brown, but
Hmm. Yep.
Violet
Yeah.
Jessup, just that's a really cool story.
It
Thank you.
is very cool. Yeah, you're welcome. I thought it was neat. So yeah, you get a little bit of laughs, you get a little silliness, and
History.
then you get a little history on this show. So Duke Devil, before we're closing up on the hour here, I just want to say there was room on that door, and
I agree.
she did push him off because she didn't want to be caught cheating on her husband. And that I'm going to leave it at that, and we're not going to have any other conversations.
Needless to say, I never saw the Titanic, but I know so much about the Titanic that I don't need to see it. And I don't
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not, I know a lot of people like it. I'm like, that's not a movie I wanted to see. So,
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, well, I thought that was a cool story. I think a lot of people,
mhm,
if you want to read more about her, you can. But
mhm,
I pretty much told you the gist of what she did.
mhm.
Now, usually I do a little something about Bigfoot on this channel. We're kind of running out of time, but I'm going to ask you straight up: do you believe in Bigfoot?
Well, we have a cannoli Sasquatch, so yes.
There you go, people. She believes. So there you go. Awesome, awesome. Yes, Rose is a yep, yep. You are absolutely correct. Okay. So, would you like to share anything? Or are you doing anything cool the next coming up weeks, or should we expect anything neat from your Twitter account or anything like that?
Well, I always have some random takes on Twitter. So I have, I say a bunch of stuff. Guys can follow me there.
You're on
Range of
Rumble
stuff.
too, right?
I am on Rumble. I have like the normal account and as well as the YouTube. I think I have a channel account there. I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to be figuring out how to be able to stream on Rumble and Kick at the same time. So it's going to be interesting.
I heard about Kick. I don't do a lot of gaming. I don't do any gaming streams. So,
I will.
um,
I've just heard about it. It's I have a Twitch channel, but I have not done anything to it. I've just been mostly streaming on YouTube. Um, the only thing is that I kind of came in late on the Twitch side of things, and with Twitch being kind of wonky, it's like I don't
mhm.
know if I really want to start out there. I might as well start somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, but for right now, the usual things I'm doing is on Thursdays, of course, on Eastern time. Usually I start at 9:30 p.m. Eastern for my Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster game stream. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Tomorrow I'll be starting it actually at 10 because my mom, due to life circumstances, was not able to celebrate Mother's Day and have an outing with my dad and me. So tomorrow night we're going out to dinner, and that's why it's pushed back 30 minutes later. So that way it kind of gives a little buffer.
I hope people could understand that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So your mothers are very important, just like your fathers. So this is
they are. You are absolutely correct. So before we ended here, we'll do the one last joke. When two vegans get in an argument, is it still called a beef?
Jacob, do you come up with these things on your own, or do you?
That's what I was wondering. But you know what?
You actually use a website.
I'm not sure. He hasn't really confirmed that or not. But anyways, everyone, it's been great talking to you tonight in the chat. Mags, thanks for showing up. This has been awesome. This has been fun. I'm glad I got you to laugh. That made my night. That was great.
Thank you for having me, Cap. This has been wonderful, and of course, thank you to the chat. The chat's always great.
Born
and raised in the chats, basically.
Yeah, if you're new here, it'd be great if you can like the video. You can also subscribe if you want some more random silliness like this. I do cut some of these out and put them on shorts in the feed. And you can also follow me on Instagram if you like that better. You can all find that on my link tree. That's all in the thing. I also do a show with R2 called After the Weekend. We review movies from the 80s, 90s, and sometimes the 2000s. Last Monday, this Monday that just happened, we reviewed deleted scenes from Return of the Jedi. So that was pretty cool. You can check me and R2 out there. We're very close to 300 subs over there. So if you want to give us some support, that'd be fantastic. Let's see here. Hey Cap and Mags, I hope you're all well. I hope you're well. 7 away from 400. They're truly funny streamers. Okay. I'm 7 away from 400. Or are you talking about Mags?
No, I'm over 400. So maybe he's talking about maybe at his channel. So congrats on 7 away. That's not
okay.
That's great.
I don't think I'm. Hopefully, that is awesome. That's great. I was like, I'm not 7 away. I don't think I am. I'm like maybe 50. But 300 for After the Weekend. So yeah, if you could give us that'd be. Oh, there you go. He confirmed it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Real Wanda Nation Gaming Clips. Got it.
And Jacob Ironside confirms I collect jokes. Aha. There you go.
Well, he collects some funny ones. Not all of them are great, but they are funny. At least he's confident when he writes them.
They're all like dad jokes. There's nothing wrong with dad jokes. I like dad jokes.
Zombie says we should all have more subs. Yes, we all should have more subs. I agree. Yep. All right, Mags. Again, thanks for coming on. It's been great. I hope to have you on again soon, and I'll see you around in the chat. Everyone else, have a good night, and come back for next Wednesday, and look for the community post for the next guest. See you later.
Bye, y'all.